My conclusion was this isn't my dream. This is a lot of other people's dream. But riding world tour at age 32 was not my dream, no matter how glamorous it seemed. Who am I talking? Oh, you, okay. My name is Colin Strickland. I am a bicycle racer and general entertainer.
So let's just start the bike. I feel there should be a bit of context for why I got such a ridiculous vehicle. This is what that truck is for. The truck will pull this 35-foot 1955 Spartan Royal Manor house on wheels. It'll be fully furnished, what have you, livable kitchen, bathroom, kind of dining nook, air conditioning, wood stove. Yeah, it'll have everything. So it'll be like life on the road, but comfortably. Kind of like van life, but a much more deluxe version. I live in Austin because I grew up here. It's a bit of a boom town, a little bit of everything. It's where I went to school at the University of Texas. It's where my parents lived most of their life, and it's just one of those places that's hard to leave because there's so much going on. There's a lot of opportunity, a lot of good bike racing, a lot of decent riding, and a lot of cool people. And yeah, it's been one of those places I've left many times, traveled out of a lot, but often, well, when I leave, I always am excited to come back home to Austin. No, I've lost it. I had it and I lost it all at once. Cut. I think I'm cut off from the guitar.
Is that your favorite song
I first encountered cycling as a young kid living on a farm out about 30 miles west of Austin. I had 3 older siblings, so everyone had bikes. I think I had inherited a Huffy from my brother, a little kind of, I guess it would be kind of like a BMX style small kid's bike. And we used to ride 1 to 2 miles out the dirt road to the mailboxes. It was kind of the 1 mile marker. Technically, I guess it was a gravel road, so I guess I grew up riding on gravel. Never thought about that. This is the make-out spot. You want to make out, you want a pretty good chance that you're gonna get it done, you come here. The bike gives me freedom in the sense that It's such a simple companion. It doesn't require fueling. It doesn't require, registration. It doesn't require a massive investment up front. It's pretty resilient. It can take a spill and, pick it right back up, get back on it. A bike is just a simple tool that opens up, that will allow you to, traverse across especially an urban environment pretty efficiently. And it's the perfect complement to the human body in terms of mobility and efficiency. Second only maybe to wings or something. We'll see. I'd summarize my cycling career in probably 3 distinct chapters. Chapter 1 being racing domestic road, local road, starting as a Cat 5, working my way up to Cat 2, Cat 1, simultaneously working full-time, doing environmental consulting. So really just like putting my foot in the water, enjoying the bike racing experience like most people do, just in it for my weekend fun, fitness, the camaraderie of it, and little did I know at the time, I definitely had an affinity for the training and the suffering part that you need. But at that time, it was really just complete hobby because it was kind of thrilling and it was a great challenge. And that chapter closed around, let's say 2016, when I got a call, moving into the next chapter, which would be the Fixie chapter, Red Hook Crit, etc. I got a call from Chris Reichert at Specialized, who said, hey, we have a spot on a 2-man Specialized team that is, we're preparing to race Red Hook Crit, which was this incredible event that had 4 races in Brooklyn, London, Barcelona, Milan, Italy. So it was an incredible way to travel the world, see, beautiful cities in Europe and the US, and meet, an international host of Fixie fools who are still friends to this day. And that chapter was just like kind of my first taste of just like bright lights and kind of cameras. I was literally just having fun with it, completely convinced that I was far too old to kind of hit that trajectory, that ramp to get up into any kind of cycling profession, career. Oh, Jesus. It's just the end. Did you miss it? Fuck yeah, Red Hook was so much fun. Yeah, anyway. Good times. Good times in Europe. And moving into the next chapter, which would be the gravel saga. 2017 was when I first struck out and participated in some local gravel races, like this race called the Castell Grind, which is about an hour and a half north of Austin, these beautiful roads. And it was my first experience with this format of racing that was really challenging, beautiful courses where the surface is kind of much more engaging than a road race where you are having to navigate lines across kind of a shifting terrain. And also just seeing this scene where the riders, most of which I had never encountered, were just there just for the fun of it. They weren't there to try to extract a result. They were there to participate, to hang out with each other, to participate in this kind of celebration, this like cycling festival almost. It's not really an extractive process as much as a experiential process. great formula, and I could see that it would grow. I dare I say I could see that it would grow into something much bigger than just a lot of 40-plus riders meeting out, in Castell, Texas, and enjoying some gravel grinding. Yeah, it just had the right combination to kind of catch on fire. The day before Kansas 200, we were at the Allied tent, my teammate Kevin and I, and ran into a couple of the EF riders were kind of moving around the expo. Said what's up to Taylor Finney, had a brief hello with him. Fast forward, had success at the race, won the race. Got a text from Taylor the next day after winning the race on my way home saying, hey, have you ever considered riding World Tour? I said, no, not at all. Not really, no. Never really occurred to me. Didn't think that door would ever be even, slightly ajar. So yeah, then I was thinking, well, something must be up. And then later that day, or perhaps 2 days after Kansas, I got an email from Jonathan Botters, director of EF, director sportif, who said, hey, same question. I said, same answer. No, I have not, because again, for all the reasons, chapters 1 and 2 had nothing to do with World Tour racing. Thought that door had closed. But, he proposed the idea of riding for EF as a classic specialist, and then, moving into my kind of familiar terrain of US gravel events in the summer, which sounded like an absolute dream schedule, because if there were any World Tour races that have piqued my interest, that I imagine I would potentially have a chance of doing well at, it would be classics format versus super steep, climby, descendy stuff. I would do well in the long, flat races, in theory. We may never know. Anyway, so we started a negotiation, conversation. He was serious about it, I found out, which was pretty amazing. And yeah, that process lasted about 2 months, and it just went from being a really kind of a dream offer of, riding for EF, retaining Red Bull relationship, and getting this dream schedule and getting all the exposure, going to Europe, living in Girona, which would be amazing. It kind of evolved into the contract being, severing all contract or all existing relationships, including Red Bull, and it would be 1 year, and there's just so many variables that have to go perfectly right in order to have any kind of significant result, much less result, really just impact on a race. Such a huge learning curve, and over 1 year, and at my ripe age of 32, it just wasn't a really good gamble. It's a gamble no matter what, and it could win big if if I won a classic or something, or podiumed at a classic, that would be huge. But realistically, it's a numbers game, and it just didn't seem like a good bet. And I have such a good thing going on right now. I have so much fun. I have so much freedom that my conclusion was, this isn't my dream. This is a lot of other people's dream. But riding World Tour at age 32 was not my dream. Out in far west Texas, it just is a different pace. The landscape, the lack of dense population just gives you kind of a sensation of just peacefulness and some form of isolation compared to being in a big city, boomtown like Austin. It's nice to come out for, that shifting gears into just a more extensive, expansive. You're kind of focused on the horizon instead of everything right in front of you, so it kind of slows you down, and it's a great place to go out and just knock out long rides without the distraction and the busyness of town.
Silhouette, blue sky and linen thread.
answer the question of why I choose to specialize in the discipline of endurance gravel and these sometimes stupid long events that just push you to your very core and like break you down to just your essence. I enjoy that emptying sensation because it's almost this feeling that you get to kind of build yourself back anew after every intense, brutal, long race. I would like people to know that this was not the goal. It was not the goal to have, sit in front of cameras and tell my story, really. The goal was just following what made me happy and what kind of fueled my fire. And in this case, that was in the sport of cycling. I recognized something that it did for me that really pulled out something that I liked to see in myself, again, just pushing myself to the absolute limit. And it was a fun and exciting adventure for me. So I just kept pursuing what kind of made me tick and just followed my nose and followed the kind of the path of fun and adventure and fulfillment. And that led me to leaning against this loading dock here today. And it wasn't really a preconceived notion of I want to be a pro cyclist. It was just doing what I loved to do and just following your nose and following your passion, and here's where I ended up.
I didn't want to sit up there because it would have been like, which would have kind of been funny. What? Oh, it's got a sole under it. It just needs glue.
Like a duck.